Hello, 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 and welcome aboard the Misdemeanor. Our me mateys, how are you doing today? It has been far too long, my friends. Absolutely far too long. 1 week, far too long. I hope you all had a fantastic week. Hope everything went well. Sorry, I'm trying to get something I totally forgot I wanted to do, and I was sitting here going doo 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 doo. It's been way too long for me. I need my D&D. I need my D&D, chat. All right, 1 second. I'm trying to see if, yep, there it is. One thing I have to do. One more thing I have to do before we begin. It is a very it's a very important thing, guys. It's a new token that I totally forgot to do. Give me one moment and then we will begin. Oh, yep, there it is. There it is. There it is. Just changing some things around. I'm changing a graphic around because something dramatic happened last session. And we need to reflect that within the game itself. Because as you know here, when it comes to the world of IO, you know, it's constantly evolving, it's constantly changing. And it's really important that tokens themselves also go along with that change. You know what I mean? You guys may or may not remember, but a certain event happened last session specifically, that will forever change the lives or the life of one individual. Let's go ahead and see what that change is. What happened there? And how our party is doing. Hello.
Hi.
How are you all doing today?
Be good.
Pretty fantastic.
Well, I'm glad you guys are doing all right. And that you guys are fine. And your characters are just happy-go-lucky and wonderful.
Yeah?
I don't like this.
Because Wood Gnome freaking permanently injured his eye from the varnish. Guys.
Yeah, well, I was not involved in that,
That's
so...
not our fault. Come on.
Yeah.
Whose fault is that?
I mean, it was Wood Gnome. He shouldn't have rubbed his, you know, he shouldn't have rubbed varnish in his eye by mistake. But,
It's
you
no
know.
one's fault. It's his fault.
Yeah, he's
It's
sporting.
his fault.
It's terrible.
Dumbass.
Poor Wood Gnome. He just wanted to help.
He's like super pirate now. He's like the only one of us that has an eye patch.
Yeah, he is.
He's basically the only pirate on this ship. I said what I said.
Yar. Or whatever. I don't know. Very excited to be playing D&D with you all once again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just as a recap, because I know it's been, you know, 3 months since the last time we played, or at least it feels
Yes,
like
3 months.
God, 3 months exactly.
it's
to the
been
day.
so long since we played this again. You all are sailing away from northern Krakos after visiting Gubwater, or specifically Gubwater Keep, reclaiming the treasures of the fallen heroes, or some of the fallen heroes from a keep that they had built. And you have also acquired a statue, which you believe may be a petrified fallen hero.
Yes.
That you now have in tow aboard the Misdemeanor. Right before... Oh, yeah, go on.
To be fair, we were going to leave it there.
Right.
We grabbed it because we were worried the keep was going to get sucked into a gaping maw of void energy.
Yes. That was the next thing I was about to
So-
say. You were fleeing from a what can only be described as a void maw. that was sort of like a void sinkhole that started to form right in front of Gubkeep. And yeah, hold on. I'm gonna move this real quick so we can kind of get a little recap of what that looks. And also, everyone can see Hunter's lovely message to me. That just, I don't want to delete because it makes me feel so good. But it
is good.
Yeah, a void maw began to open itself over there. Oh, here we go. And poop. All right. Well, and there it is. And I
Who
know
wrote that?
That was you, purple text, purple person. How dare you? Who wrote
Not
that?
the 13-year-old boy. That would be ridiculous.
Well,
Honestly, he'd be the last person I would suspect.
yeah, well, not me. Nope. I know better. Yeah, you are now continuing your sailing. I believe it was decided that you will be resuming on course following the sword. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna go near the maw. The maw is
No.
gone.
The boss.
I mean, that's just we don't know what the fuck to do with that thing.
Yeah,
Look,
that's...
we have to
That's
decide.
someone else's problem.
We have to decide between. We have to decide between two gigantic problems.
Yes.
One, a ghost skeleton guy who's ruining the planet, or two, a void that's ruining the planet.
Yeah.
We're gonna pick one of two poisons.
Yep.
Yeah, one of those we have like leads on and a little bit of understanding, and the other one we're like, that looks scary. So I feel like there's an obvious one to go for, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and Ghost Ship Man, he showed up first, so it would be rude of us to pursue something else.
Yeah.
That's true. It would really
He's
hurt his
probably
feelings. I
waiting.
think.
He's probably waiting for me to kill him, so we have to fulfill that promise.
Yep. That's fair. He's currently like on some sort of like evil bad guy final boss throne. Just being like, when are they gonna show up and kill me? That's exactly what that scene's looking like right now. But yeah, you're currently sailing away from Kathos, deciding that whatever that void maw was, someone else will take care of that. Maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed. We'll see what happens over there. Actually,
we'll see,
haha, we'll see. But right now, you guys are back to sailing, following the sword, correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, you'll be sailing for, I would say, a little bit at this point. So let's do a week of downtime, shall we?
Oh.
What are you guys doing during this week?
Do me last because my child is screaming.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. You know what? We'll start with Armstrong. I don't know what we started with first last time, but Armstrong, you're usually the one sailing. So let's figure out what the heck you're doing.
Good question for a week here. I think he'd be doing his fishing side project.
Mm-hmm.
No sense in letting all this perfectly usable fishing equipment go to waste.
Right.
Rather than stopping at ports, we can find our own food.
That's true.
He's just kind of a stingy old man, so
No. I
doesn't want to spend gold where he doesn't have to.
I can absolutely 100% respect that. So what did we do last time? And I'll make sure to document the mechanics. I think you did a sailing check, right? Or did I give you a fishing skill? I think I gave you.
No, it was sailing. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you'll just go ahead, make a sailing check to cast the nets over. I think last time you got 4 days of rations from this, I believe, correct? Okay. Yeah, cast the nets over. We'll see what you end up catching, and let's roll a sailing check. All right. 15's right. All right, for that, I would say roll a 1d4 again. You have caught 1 day's worth of rations through various sardines and fish. crawdaddies, a lot. No lobster though. I don't think that's lobster rolling right there. But you definitely caught enough where you could you can go ahead, put that in a barrel. How are you preserving the fish, if you don't mind me asking?
Good question.
Do you keep it like in a barrel of water and just hope that'll keep them alive?
I feel like we could have pretty easy access to salt.
Mm-hmm.
Considering the ocean.
Oh yeah, we can make one of those stilt things.
Yeah, and we were doing that anyway to get fresh water, weren't we? Weren't we like boiling it?
I think so.
I know you guys had water. Or I thought someone was like casting a like a spell or something like that to create water, or either because I don't know if you can boil salt water into fresh water. Can you?
Yeah,
You have to like evaporate it and recollect it, kind of.
Yeah.
I know that you guys were doing something that was like, oh, you guys are good on water. It definitely wasn't like I drink from the ocean. It was you all were you were all doing something. And maybe it's something that Alis had, like a spell of some sort.
Well, regardless, it wouldn't be hard to just evaporate seawater and get salt to preserve fish.
Oh yeah, the salt. Yeah. I was on how you guys are getting water.
And
but
we could even have, if any of our spellcasters were so inclined, have them cook them carefully with some fire or something.
Some heat.
Without, making a fire on the ship, and they would last even longer in that case.
That's true.
But that depends on if anyone wants to try to be a chef here.
Oh yeah, who would be if someone were to be a chef of this crew, who would be the chef?
Yeah, who can cook? Is there
For some reason, I
skill?
imagine Wood Gnome would be a good cook.
No, absolutely
Only
not.
Aw, come on, Wood Gnome.
I mean, I could light some fire and just, heat up whatever. I mean, you'll be fed. Well,
Don't go
tastes
building
good.
any fires.
Well, then what do you expect me to do?
Well, we could eat the wood gnome.
Oh, you could do that.
Hey, there's an idea.
Yeah. And then he's looking over at the side and staring out, thinking about jumping.
Oh, we're just breaking your leg. That's not the expression.
Oh, please don't. And he just kind of
Luna's the one
scratches
who
at his
keeps
eye.
making all of us tea. I feel like Luna would be a good cook, maybe.
Yeah, if she's making tea, she must have access to a source of controlled fire.
That's true.
Lawrence. Can Lawrence make something?
He just shakes his head a little bit.
Lawrence, do you have any culinary ability?
Well, I know how to cook food so it's not raw. It won't be flavorful, but I could probably whip something up for you if you'd like. I do know how to make a fine jerky, if that's what you're looking for. You would have preserved some of this fish you're catching.
Don't need to cook with an open flame at all. We can dry and preserve fish jerky.
I think it's something that I could get accustomed to. Absolutely.
Alis on the long list of things that this ship desperately needs just writes cook with 8 circles around it.
Where do you keep your salt?
Out in one of these barrels. Look for the one with the salt pouring out of it.
What? You don't even know where your salt is?
Down below deck.
That'll walk below deck. Alis, I wanted to ask, we had a solution for water. What was that solution? Okay. Was that something you could do or something?
We were shape water, grabbing water from the sea and then heating it up with however Luna was making tea.
Okay.
We were boiling the water and then separating the salt from it, but
yeah. That's a good question then. Luna, how have you been making your tea?
I think I've been doing a tiny fire on a maybe like something of a protective barrier between. I have this cloth that kind of protects the ship, and I think I've just been doing it like that with like my little teapot and everything.
Mm-hmm. Is there a particular spell you've been casting to conjure the flame?
As I frantically read through my spell list of my notes. I think it might have been minor illusion or prestidigitation. It's whichever one allowed me to do like a tiny like little flame thingy.
The prestidigitation.
Okay.
You can light a torch or a small campfire, so you've probably been doing that. You chill, warm, or flavor up 1 cubic foot of non-living material for an hour. So I mean, you could also just warm up liquids that way, not necessarily put them into a boil. But you could probably be lighting like a small campfire somewhere, somewhere on the ship, I guess.
That's probably how I've been doing that.
Yes. Yes.
Prestidigitation could make all of our meals delicious. I'm
That's
just
true.
saying.
That's true.
That is the universal answer to this tastes bland.
So you're saying all of these questions so far, we could have just said, I don't know, magic?
Yeah, literally, yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
I love it.
As long as we don't get salmonella.
Yeah, as long as it's cooked thoroughly.
I'm looking it up. Apparently, you can do some crazy shit with like a leaf and distilling it and like retasting the water and recording the salinity and then.
Yeah.
But magic sounds better for all of this.
Well, you do have a. Nope, JK. I was like, oh, you have a small kitchen on board, but that's a lie. You don't have that on the misdemeanor. You do have like foodstuffs, like dried foodstuffs over in the second deck where you can keep things packed. Just general spices and things like that. So I
think,
yeah, it's still feasible, still very possible. Absolutely.
Maybe I build something over like the side of the ship or something so that the embers and stuff don't fall.
I love that. I love that. You just see Luna just off the side of the ship going, okay, time to make tea. And she's just like leaning over, trying not to fall on this like makeshift like driftwood on the side. Probably been one time it caught on fire and she was like, shoot, cuts the driftwood off, just let it fall into the ocean. And like, all right.
Armstrong doesn't actually know this is going on.
Yeah. Oh boy, I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm good with that. That works. I'm okay with these answers. Leighton. Yes,
if anybody's
please.
If anybody's curious, you boil the water until it turns into steam, and the steam obviously doesn't take the salt with it, and then you distill the steam back into water. And it leaves behind the salt, and then you have both salt and drinking water.
That's nuts.
I learned that from some PBS thing called Voyage of the Mimi.
Oh my god, I was about to say that! What? Yeah, young Ben Affleck, baby. He's like 8 years old.
What?
They took like a top and made a pyramid, and then they like boiled water underneath, and it rained down the side into these deposits, and they're like, that's how you make fresh water if you're ever stuck on an island. And I was like, wow, that's so cool.
And you remember that forever because you'll never know when you may be stuck on an island.
Dude, Gerard, I'm so glad someone else has heard of this.
Oh yeah. I was gonna bring it up, but I just was like, I thought I was gonna date myself immediately.
Please date yourself. As someone who's constantly dating themselves,
who pronounced the word meme as Mimi, so
Mimi.
It's really hard for me to imagine what this show is.
Mimi. Oh, I love it. So Leighton, what have you been doing during the week?
Pass. I don't know. I feel like Leighton would be in a bit of a depressive slump just because of the statue. Just kind of reminding him of how far he's come and where he doesn't know where he wants to go and the burden that he carries. So I feel like he'd be kind of isolated to himself, just trying to figure out what to do with himself. think something like.
That's actually a good question because you probably with the statue. Where have you been keeping the statue?
In my. Go ahead.
Sorry, keep going.
I was gonna say. I know she didn't put it on the ship, so I imagine it's gonna be down below.
Right. I'm assuming you weren't keeping the statue above deck.
Sure. Yeah, I mean in that case, I probably would keep it in my personal quarters, wherever that may be.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say like, your personal stash, like the bag of holding. You're like statue goes in.
I put it in the bag of holding, you guys, next to the gigantic sword and everything else we've got so far.
Right. I mean,
pile
he
of
doesn't
lava.
have to breathe, so honestly, that would be fine.
Yeah.
But you said you wanted to keep it in the personal quarters.
Yeah, it would be my personal quarters.
We
Okay.
could put him in one of the beds.
Would you?
That's not weird.
We give him a bed. We gave him a bed, but not wood gnome.
Poor wood gnome. He's so like abused.
Oh gosh.
It's okay. I don't need to sleep.
Oh.
Don't, Wood Gnome, don't look at me like that. I don't make any decisions on this ship.
Okay, so you keep it over in the quarters. We'll move the statue over there for the next session, specifically, and yeah, and that'll do. Like, how do you like restrain, like keep the statue so that if something were to happen to the ship, you don't have it fall over? Because I mean, this is a stat. This counts as a statue made of stone, even though that you believe that this may actually be a living person, petrified.
Right.
If the statue breaks, it's gonna break, and that's gonna be a problem.
I mean,
yeah.
I feel like we could easily, if it was, if we did decide to just strap it to a bed somewhere, I think it would be easy enough to take like blankets or something and wrap them around it and then tie it up.
I know what's up.
What's up?
I gave the statue my bed. It's in my quarters. It's sleeping in my bed, and I'm on the floor.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's extra beds though.
there's a lot of beds. Yeah, you guys.
There's more beds. Aylis hates that.
There's
He
literally
brings it up every night.
there's 8 beds in the mid deck.
I mean, I could just leave it alone, sure, but I feel it's more of a respect thing. It's more like
Oh, I get it. I understand.
Like
Yeah.
Leighton's symbolic thing to.
Yeah, if you want
because you have to remember, Leighton doesn't really need sleep in terms of like when he was repairing the ship.
he doesn't need restful sleep. Yeah.
He doesn't need restful sleep. He's kind of always awake, waiting for the next thing. So like he's not really like, if anything, his rest is just to be comfortable, not to like get sleep. So
Right.
sleep's not that important to him.
I would say mechanics wise, you do quote unquote sleep. You just don't.
Oh, absolutely.
You just don't do it comfortably
Sure.
because you're not. That's just you can sleep anywhere. You've gotten used to it. You can just sleep on a bed of rocks if you wanted to, and you're like, whatever. What is comfort? I suffer.
Yeah.
Looks to the moon. You know. So. Yeah, just to recap on the misdemeanor in the mid deck, there are 3 rooms. One is the captain's quarters, and there are 2 rooms. Each room has 4 beds in it. So, although you have declared Wood Gnome does not sleep in any of the beds, but he does sleep at the foot of the captain's bed, and
He can sleep in a bed, right, guys?
Sure.
Yeah.
He doesn't know
I'm
that.
all for him sleeping in
He
a bed.
doesn't know that.
I
No
mean,
one-
he
no-
yeah, no one's really told them.
No
and
one's told him, so he just assumes that he has to be at the bed of the captain.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure
I'm
when
gonna
he's like,
I'm gonna say that's Armstrong's job then, to be like, please just
Okay.
sleep in a normal ass bed.
I accept this responsibility.
ready to go to bed, friend?
Like at a certain point, you have to assume Armstrong just likes having him there.
You know, there comes a time in a wood gnome's life where he needs to find his own bed.
Okay.
So find your own bed. You can sleep in any of the beds that aren't already occupied.
He looks around a little bit. I don't understand.
What aren't you getting?
Wood gnome gets the bed?
Aye, Wood Gnome gets a bed. Wood Gnome gets a bed.
His you see a tear. You start to stroll underneath his eye patch, and he just
Oh my
goes,
goodness.
and he just goes, ow, 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 ow,
Oh no!
ow. Thank you for the bed. But if Wood Gnome has a scary dream, he can still sleep with you, right? And he puts his hand on your arm.
Hi.
Yeah.
You can go sleep with the captain in his bed.
Oh, goody!
If you have a scary dream, you can come talk to me about it till you're not scared anymore.
Okay, but what if you're sleeping? You won't even notice. I'll just snuggle myself in there.
You know, Wood Gnome, you can always put your thumb in your mouth. I'm sure that'll help a lot.
I do.
Ah, perfect.
Tastes like fish. I don't know why.
That is gross.
It's pretty disgusting.
If you have a bad dream, you can come wake me up, and we'll talk about it.
Oh, okay. But I'll hold you to that. And he gives like
Aye.
finger guns while he's like walking backwards.
Night terrors
He
every
bumps-
night. I remember.
And then he bumps into Leighton, and he's just like, "Oh, excuse me." Then he just rushes up this way.
You know, Captain Armstrong, you might have this whole father thing worked out more than you know.
Aye.
Leighton's obsession with the captain being like Aylis's dad.
Does Armstrong like raise his eyebrow to that statement? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that Leighton's just like, haha, wise anecdote. And Armstrong's like, okay. Sure. All
I
right.
will say he has always had like a fear of commitment, but as far as like being a mentor, he's always been down.
Wood Gnome has no such fear of commitment.
Wood Gnome is determined to be your child.
Yeah, Wood Gnome.
How old is Wood Gnome, and how long do gnomes live?
I mean, no one's really asked how old Wood Gnome is.
Hey, Wood Gnome,
Ah!
how old are you?
What?
Well, actually, I was kind of curious. How long do gnomes live?
He shakes a little bit at that question. Why do you want to know how long gnomes live? And he looks up at you, his eyes squinting.
I like studying different races, and how
I'm just
long they're
pulling your
bound
leg.
to the world.
Yeah, well, my grandpappy, let's see, he lived to about 448, 450 years, I think. Yeah.
450 years?
Yeah, somewhere around there. I mean, you start to lose count / not really care after a while.
Oh, I had no idea that you outlived humans that long.
Yep. It's a sight to behold when everyone you know and love perishes around you.
Yeah, I understand.
And his eyes just glass over a little bit.
Oh, Luna kind of pats him on the back, like, yeah, I know. I'm an elf. You know how we are.
I mean, it's actually really funny because they pick on you and then they die and then you laugh.
Okay.
He smiles.
So what are you for a gnome? Are you considered a child, an adult?
Are you trying to get my age there, Luna?
Sure.
Well, you know, a lady never tells. And then he winks a little bit.
Luna's like so confused. She's all
Listen.
trying to relate.
How about you share how old you are and I'll share how old I am?
I'd love to give you my real age, but in all honesty, I've forgotten the exact age.
He rolls his eyes at that statement. It's like, well, then Wood Gnome forgot his age too.
It's somewhere between 90 and 120.
You're just a bait. What? How did you forget your age around then? Sure, I understand if you're in your 200s, 300s. Yeah, you start to get, it gets a little foggy, but you know.
I just was uprooted so many times. I think most of my peers, you know, like most elves, they spend their first few hundred years always in the same place and, you know, regimen and keeping everything in order. And, like, but when you're constantly moving, I moved all over the place from a pretty young age. And so I don't know. I just didn't focus on that stuff, I guess.
Okay. Then he smiles at you. Well, Wood Gnome's older than you, and that's all that Wood Gnome's gonna share today.
Okay, that's fine.
Forgets your age at 90 years old. That's just a bunch of hooey. Bunch of hooey, if you ask me. Hey, I'm somewhere between, I don't know, 100 and 500. You know, go ahead and make your pick at that, Luna. And he just walks downstairs at that point.
Wow. I think Luna is like a bit confused, but she also finds it kind of funny. Just because she's getting used to that he's just weird.
That boy ain't right.
You ain't right!
I don't know when gnomes do you guys know when gnomes come of age?
What do you mean when gnomes come of age?
Well, you know,
Age
humans.
for what?
Adults, like humans.
You see, A-list, when a gnome gets old enough.
No, that's not. I'm not asking.
No.
Birds and the bees talk.
I like to think Leighton at random points has tried to have like a weird birds and the bees talk with A-list multiple times, and every time he's like, "I'm 13. You really don't have to."
Hey there, buddy.
When you find a wench, you must be very careful. Be respectful, be kind. Some may require gold.
Very busy.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
I've heard this conversation happen, and I just turn around. I'm like, nope.
Nope.
Whether or not we have this conversation, your days will come. You can't run forever, boy. You know it to be true. You will one day get in this situation, and you're gonna thank old Leighton here that he's got your back.
A-list keeps like desperately trying to make eye contact with Luna, like, save me.
Oh my goodness. Luna's like, hey, Leighton. How you doing today?
Wood Gnome would look up during this conversation. So, buddy, like, how much we talking? Like, platinum pieces? He stares up at Leighton.
This was a mistake. This was a mistake.
I thought everyone was born from eggs.
What?
What? You mean to tell me you weren't hatched?
Yes, no, we all came from eggs. You are totally right.
All right. Looking to be like I'm crazy.
Leighton, what are you doing over there?
Nothing. I'm just trying to keep my mind clear from wood gnome hatching out of an egg.
Well, it probably happened that way.
It probably did.
It may or may not have happened that way.
Just try not to let it carry off the ship.
Gnomes run so many experiments. I wouldn't be surprised if they came up with like an egg-laying version of themselves.
I feel like we're pretty efficient in reproduction.
I mean, eggs are pretty efficient.
Absolutely.
You don't have to stay pregnant for very long. You know, you can lay your eggs and go.
This
Pregnant?
All right,
Why
one
is this
second,
still
wood
going
gnome.
on?
Wood gnome, come
Yes.
on.
Yes.
Come on, wood gnome, relax.
Why?
Relax. I know what you're trying to do. Relax.
Yeah.
Lizard people are born from eggs.
Yeah. And so
All
are
right,
gnomes. I mean,
all
gnomes. Back,
All right, I tried.
back in the day,
I tried.
Nopes used to get pregnant.
I tried.
But now they're
tried.
actually birthed from
I
pods.
tried. Let everyone know I tried.
I came out of an oyster.
But he looks around. But I'm serious. Did you not know that?
Alice, do you want to catalog this? I've never heard of this before. We were never taught this at Academy.
Must I?
I had no idea. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't put it past them, but it's still a little shocking.
You
know,
can
that-
You can roll an insight check to see if he's lying,
Me or Alice or
or anyone who's interested.
Could I roll a history check and see what I do know?
Yeah.
insight. Oh man, now I'm
Man.
so gullible. I'm just like, yeah, eggs.
You're free.
Ayla will roll.
Armstrong too.
Ow!
He rolled a 1 with the 2.
I got a
Alis,
13.
yeah, Alis, you believe that Wood Gnome is not being deceitful, that he is genuinely telling the truth.
Yeah, if Luna seems like determined to have me write it down, but then has sort of a look on her face like, wait, am I being duped? I think Ayla would look at her and be like, he's literally never had a reason to lie to us before.
Ah,
He
well,
just
good
says
talk.
ridiculous things, and at least as far as he's concerned, they're typically true.
I guess that's true. The dog thing and yeah.
Oh, I
Okay.
forgot about the dog thing.
Oh
Were
no.
we just moments ago trying to convince him to cook for our ship?
Alis, what are you doing this week?
I think like after going to the keep, probably with like another weekish of being on this ship, places like all of Leighton's haphazard papers are now more organized than they've ever been. Like the zones where stuff needed to be organized is looking very organized, but then the area where Alis works and like where he's got the book stand and all of that is just a fucking disaster. He's trying to figure out like cartography on the fly and all of these things that he's been asked to do. And I think probably if he notices that Leighton has been kind of depressed and like not being as social as he normally is, Alis probably a couple of times this week has sort of said something along the lines of, I'm still having trouble with the wind reading or whatever it was you were trying to teach me. Do you think you could we have another go at it?
Are you sure?
Well, I have to learn, don't I? I'm on a ship now. He waves his hand around like it's some big to do.
You have to teach yourself, boy. I can't make you remember each lesson.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
Fair enough. I'll figure it out, I suppose.
Oh, I meant I'll teach it to you, but you got to remember it your own.
Oh, I see. I thought you were like, fuck off. I told you once.
No,
That's what I thought so too. I was like,
no, that's my bad.
all right.
It was more like I'll teach you, but you got to do the homework. Is what I was trying to imply.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then Alis would nod and say, I do best with note taking, so I'll take notes this time. Yeah, and I think if you'll let me, I'd love to. I don't remember what we rolled last time, but I'd like to try and.
You will be making an intelligence check.
Okay.
Do I have to roll anything?
Maybe
Maybe I'm bad at teaching.
Oh.
Oh shit!
Nat 20. The
Big
notes,
brain.
baby.
Wow.
I take back what I said. She got that 20.
You're an amazing teacher.
Yeah.
All right. With this sort of experience with a nat 20. 1 second. You have acquired the sailing skill.
Oh shit!
Whoa.
However, you are not yet proficient in it,
Okay.
but you are able to make sailing checks
Awesome. Sick.
to assist and help.
Armstrong,
Aye.
let the boy pilot the ship.
No.
He's ready.
Let the boy pilot
How
the
are,
ship.
how are the sailing conditions right now,
Pretty good.
DM? Good.
Pretty
Calm-
good.
calm
Yeah,
waters, nothing-
this is about the end of the week. It's nice, calm waters. By the way, where have you been keeping the sword? Have you been keeping it above deck as your compass to sail the way it's pointing?
Yeah, it's been in the bag of holding, which is on my person.
Right.
Yeah, I think we take it out occasionally to make sure we're
Yeah.
going in the right direction, right?
Okay.
That's what I would think. Yeah, because we don't want to draw like too much attention to ourselves. but
One. Like,
pull it out and be like, okay, that way.
all right.
Oh,
Oh.
but yeah. So I'll just, if we got nice calm waters, I'll just step aside and be like,
It's not such a bad idea. Why don't you give it a shot?
Oh, I don't even. He's like
Oh.
looking back and forth between his two captain dads, like
It's-
what?
It's okay.
You can handle it. I'll be right here.
I will be too.
Right. Like very awkwardly, like
Oh my
wheel
goodness.
is so big compared to him. Like he's just like.
Get the boy a crate.
yeah. Armstrong grabs his barrel.
You may want to do a few push-ups every now and then, but so far so good.
Aelys looks offended.
Go ahead and make your first sailing check.
How do I do that?
You have sailing now on your character sheet. It is at the bottom of your skills.
Oh, let me refresh. It might not show up yet.
Yeah.
Oh my god, look at that!
That
What a
exciting.
delight! A 7.
You begin to hold the wheel. The wheel itself, it seems to be moving against your physical frame. It's difficult to keep the ship straight as you kind of begin to feel it drift a little bit to the right, to the direction of where the light breeze is going.
Okay. Yeah.
Armstrong like puts a hand on the wheel and like helps it. Like he's trying to be stealthy about it too.
Make a stealth check.
Sleight of hand.
Okay.
Yeah. That is the same check. 14.
Oh.
I would say you successfully do so, since Aelys isn't looking for actively looking. Aelys, you managed to get the ship straightened out,
Great.
but it's rough against your
Yeah.
hands. You feel it pulling.
I'd give it the good college try and then sort of like step aside, and nod, and he would say, "Well, thank you. I don't think I'm quite suited for it, but
Oh.
Not bad for your first try.
Boy, you can't assume that you're going to get it right the very first time.
How
You
can
have
you
to
collect
practice.
data from one sample?
I told you you're gonna have to do your own homework.
Aelys makes a face at both of them. It's like, all right, okay."
He's learned from you and he's turning
Yeah,
it
these-
around.
These guys are speaking my language now.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I think aside from all of that, he definitely would have written down everything that he could about like the statue and everything that we saw at the keep. And if I had any more time in the week, would have been studying that book a bit more.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it is that I'm trying to do now though. Like I know how to recognize a ley line in myself. And you said the level 4 spell is the one to just find a ley line like on the fly, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Because I think it was level 5 to actually establish the dimension.
Is there a... Sorry.
Well, no. So it's level 4 to track, level 5 to go through the labyrinth veil, and level 3 to detect a ley line. Like a ritual.
Okay. And if I wanted to sort of piece together what I think Tremor did, is there a spell already inside of D&D that lets you astral project?
I believe so, but I think it's like way later on.
It's probably like a way later spell, isn't it?
But I believe there is an astral. Yeah, there's an astral projection spell. It's quite literally level 9. So.
Shit. Okay. Okay. I'll think about what it is that I want to like
do and figure out.
Yeah, his goal is still to be able to use a ley line to like
travel,
project himself through to communicate, or just communicate in some way.
Right.
It doesn't have to be like projecting his whole body, but
I have to recheck my notes and find it, but I believe that would be a level 4 attempt. Right now, you figured out how to like identify the ley line, which I have to. It's been a little bit. I have to go back to figure out what level we decided. If that was 2 or 3.
I thought it was level 1.
Or well, it might be level 1. It might be level 1.
I thought it was a level 1 spell because it was literally just like, is a ley line still attached to me, or is a ley line attached to this specific person?
It's been a couple of weeks, so I just have to document it and write it down so I can give you the step-by-steps again. But you can go ahead and make an intelligence or an arcana check to continue to read through, because you are trying. Your end goal, of course, is to try and like send like an image of yourself, essentially, to do that. This week might not be the week.
Not this time.
Between the sailing, the arcana, it's your week's pretty much booked up.
That's fine.
Luna, I do want to ask. I don't know if we actually touched base on what you've been doing this week.
I think Luna was pretty taken aback finding out that so many people from her academy like survived. And I think a lot of the week she probably spent kind of contemplating that, like reflecting, because I think she doesn't really need to sleep either. She just needs to meditate.
Right.
So she spent a lot of time doing that, kind of like going through the names and remembering everybody, and she's got her own like elven rituals that she does to remember people. And I think also the cooking thing sounds kind of fun, so I think maybe she's got some stuff she's been fashioning like to pull up. Like she's just like, well, everybody eats so much meat, but they're not getting enough like vegetables, so she's trying to pull up like seaweed from the ocean.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And like doing stuff with that, like drying it and trying experiments to flavor it to make it taste like different kinds of salads or fruits or things like that. And
how does she feel about her cousin Melira still potentially out there and alive?
That she's very curious about, because she was under the impression that everybody in her family had died. So she's been just thinking a lot about that, like, will she be able to see her again? And she was also a little bit disturbed by what Alis had said, that she's not good. I forgot how she worded it, but basically that she's not the same, and that something bad had happened where
she's an instructor at the academy.
Yeah, I think what Alis had said was that the academy is different from what it used to be, that it's not, that there's some like dark stuff going on there, and Melira at the very least is aware of it.
So she's kind of concerned about that, because she sort of had that feeling being at the academy that there had always been a lot of things that she didn't agree with in principle, and it's one of those things where she just sort of like turned a blind eye to things, but now she sort of wonders, like, are we going to confront this? Is this something that, yeah, basically like, will she ever see them again, and what are they going to be like? Yeah, and I think besides that, maybe she wants to go talk with Lawrence to kind of, because I think all of this thinking about departed family members and friends and people that are still alive, she really wants to kind of reconnect with the only people that she sort of considered, like besides the people on the ship, like the people she had considered family before, which were Novig and Aeolus, the elf and dwarf that she worked with. So maybe she wants to ask him about like their experiences together.
Okay. Yeah, you'd probably speak with him a little bit. I was trying to figure out where you were. Yeah. So what would you ask Lawrence at that point once you meet up back with him?
I think I'd wonder like when the last time was that they hung out, and how he was doing, and just like their general relationship.
Okay. Yeah, I think at that point he would just be like, those are names I haven't heard in quite a bit. They were working they were part of a glider company, right? Oh, I'm actually curious how that business has been going. Honestly, it's been quite some time since I've spoken with them.
Oh,
But
that's right too, because you were gonna make an airship.
yes, and that's why I'm curious if they're still making gliders or if they've moved on to airship. We were trying to figure out a good way to travel amongst the skies, and I actually corresponded with them and worked with them for a little bit on how to do that and figure out the engineering of it. However, I'm curious if they are still working on gliders, because it's entirely inefficient now. And I suppose if you did want to use the coal power. And then he just kind of like strokes at his beard a little bit. When's the last time you've spoken with them?
Oh, it's been a few decades, at least.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm curious if they are still trying to conquer the skies, as it were, or if they've moved on to something else.
Have you been up on one of their gliders before?
I have been. I helped design one of them, or at least one of the early prototypes. It was a bit bumpy. Needless to say, I much would have rather. And then he kind of like pounds his feet on the ship. Something a little more solid.
Yeah.
I think
Were
it's
you-
why I decided to build airships.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, they were a little bit, I don't want to say unstable, but you had to be very careful when flying them. I consider myself lucky that I didn't have any accidents with them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm curious if they're still working on that or if they've moved on to something else. I'll have to visit them someday.
Yeah. Their
Hey.
operations, they kept changing. Oh, yeah?
No, he's like, hey, maybe you and I can go together and greet them.
I would like that. I would like that a lot.
And he would nod at you at that point.
They were often treated differently, I think, because people don't generally accept friendships between elves and gnomes on either side, and I think people kind of thought of them both as outsiders as well.
Yeah.
So I know that they moved around a lot, but they did really great work, and they were both really good people.
I have to admit, when I was younger, I didn't necessarily understand why a dwarf was working with an elf. We're so few in this world. It would be better if dwarves stayed with the dwarves, continue to foster the knowledge, rebuild us, make us strong again. But, as I've mentioned, he showed me that we need not be so isolated. That even though we may be outnumbered by everyone, it might be better to work together instead of stay apart.
Yeah. One thing I learned, especially from him and from some of my other friends, is looking at people as kind of, you know, whether you're an elf or a dwarf or a gnome, it's your shell, you know? And inside is something different entirely. And when you get to know them, you never know what you're going to find. And you could befriend people in the strangest of places.
I suppose. I tolerate the gnome now, but I
still trying to understand gnomes as well.
Well, I have my misgivings. They did a lot of terrible things. In fact, I believe they still do underground. But it was good catching up, reminiscing of friends of the past.
Thank you. Yes, it was really good to talk with you as well.
Thank you. I will say at that point, that week would kind of wrap up a little bit. Alis, do you take any more? Do you make any more attempts to try and sail the ship?
Oh gosh. I think he probably focuses on, since he like really started to understand like the winds really well, he probably tries to do a little bit of that every day. So yeah, I think he would probably focus on that as like, I'm getting this, right? Like I'll try to be really good at this.
I want to be better at this. That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair. I get that.
Can I ask a quick question?
Please.
From the keep, I took a page of lyrics from the floor, and I was wondering if I could roll to see if I could decipher any of it.
Yeah, you could go ahead and do so. You could go ahead and try a maybe investigation check.
Okay. Oh.
It honestly seems like a scattering of words, almost like a jolt of like ideas, with a lot of scribbling. And while you begin to decipher a little bit of it now, it may take some more investigation. So I would say you're well on your way of like trying to decipher a little bit of what it means. But ultimately it's gonna probably take some more continuing bit of more time and just study. It may take more successful investigations if you wish to continue to decipher. 1 second. You're well on your way to it. It's just gonna take more time.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, it's just more. I think it's more just a bunch of random ideas, and you'll just have to try and piece them together.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so with that, give me just 1 second. So at the end of the week, Alis, I think you would receive a jolt.
Oh, okay.
The timing is a little delayed. But, yeah, you receive a jolt in your mind. Would you like to make a intelligence saving throw?
Yeah.
All right.
A nat 1? I was not prepared for that.
Okay, so you definitely get just this sort of like piercing headache. Right.
Okay.
And 1 second, I'm looking for there it is.
He'll like crumple onto the deck suddenly, like holding his head.
And then you see a sort of vision, a dream, as if something or someone was attempting to communicate with you.
Okay.
Do you accept the communication?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. It's at this point that you realize that you have a You have regained a connection with your familiar.
With my girl. Amazing.
Ooh.
Woo.
It is. You kind of can see very briefly through its eyes, looking up at a young Tremor.
Oh.
And Tremor seems to be not saying something directly to the familiar, but as if he's talking with someone in what appears to be this ruined lab a little bit. And then he just and then you just see its head just kind of like through its view, it just kind of like looks down again and tries to make itself comfortable, clearly exhausted, as if it went through some kind of ordeal. And then
I think like sorry.
Yeah. And at that point, like the communication like fades off and the vision ends.
Yeah, so Alis is like on his knees holding his head, and then during the vision sort of says out loud like, Eleanor. Oh, he did it. Oh, thank the gods. And then he'll once the connection starts to sever, he'll sort of blink rapidly and then look around and just breathe a huge sigh of relief. Oh, my familiar's alive.
You all right there?
Yes, I saw. Sometimes you have a familiar. Sometimes you get a really strong connection with them. There are spells to be able to see through their eyes, to communicate from a long distance. And I don't know what happened, but it was as though I was seeing through her, and she was alive. I'm so relieved.
Aye, well, more power to you.
Stand up and sort of get a concerned look on his face and go, still don't know how to get to her.
So is this like a pet or like a friend or what are we dealing with here?
Brett, like what are familiars in your world? Are they like how would you describe them?
I would say they're creatures that you've made a sort of like magical bond with. I would say they're more elaborate, stronger than you would feel about a pet.
Right.
It's almost as if they are an extension of yourself.
His face would kind of scrunch up a little bit, and he would say, well, it's not quite a pet. You create a bond with an animal, and you share something. I don't want to say spiritual, it sounds, but, well, she's connected to me, and I care about her a great deal, so it's just relieving to know that she's alive, but I still don't know what happened to her or why she was gone in the first place.
Can you tell where she is?
No, but the boy, the one who like scrunch up his face and popped out of my chest.
Yes, the boy.
He was there, and she seemed, I don't want to say relaxed, but she wasn't on edge, so I have to assume that she's safe, and that he came here asking lots of questions about familiars, so I assume he found all of them. I hope he did.
So, do you expect to be reunited?
Well, I need to figure out either how to get to her or how to get her to me. To be honest, it's the only reason I wanted to go back to the academy in the first place is because I thought that she was still there, but she might not be.
Very interesting.
Sorry, I know this isn't really your... I'm just very relieved.
Hey, no, that's good. Maybe you can relax now.
Like a face.
Maybe you could stop being so stuck up now, huh?
Yeah, God. You take
Surely-
that stick out of your ass, huh?
Yeah,
kid?
surely it's not your personality, just you being upset with the familiar, right?
Right, yeah, that's been all of this. Now I'm
That's
gonna
it,
be just
yeah.
a super chill dude.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
If I can help in some way, maybe not immediately, but in some way, I'd be more than willing.
Speaking of which, how far out are we from where we think this ship is?
Brett, how far out are we?
A month and a half away now. You are sailing in the opposite direction.
I'm sorry, did you say that we're in the opposite direction? What do you mean?
Opposite direction of where Aelis's academy is of Ishtar.
Oh,
right.
no. We were asking how close are we to the ship that we're following with the sword.
Oh, I mean,
I was
you
gonna say,
Yeah.
Brett, are we
I was
going
like,
away?
what do you mean? We've been
fools
following
you.
the sword.
I mean, you guys go in a different direction. No. Well, you don't know. You don't know how far off you are. You're just kind of following
We're just kind of following
this path,
okay.
yeah. And a week has passed. I will say though, Armstrong, waters start to get a little choppy.
Can I surmise what might be causing this?
Yes. You can make a sailing check if you'd like.
Oh. 22.
Yeah, 22.
No.
You got a +6. That's king shit.
Proficiency.
A storm front is approaching.
Ah. And
So
if
when
we
you so when you say Stormfront, you're not talking about a ship called the Stormfront?
It's a massive ship fortress appears called the Stormfront. No, I'm
Oh my god.
now
Yeah.
that I'm not worried about.
yeah.
I'm clarifying.
Yeah, no, like an actual weather pattern.
And if we pull out the sword to do a little quick check,
Oh yeah,
is
you're
it leading
oh yeah.
right into it?
Oh yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
Do you continue to sail in the direction?
How bad does it look?
If you look out with like a spyglass, it's visible.
Shall I go get everyone?
Aye.
Alis will like run below deck and round everybody up to come up.
Man, I wish I was a real sailor because I feel like I know what to do.
Why isn't D&D just real life?
Yeah, at that point, I would say just try to, like let me know what you want to do, what you want to try to attempt to do.
All right, we're sailing right into a big storm, or we would be if we keep going.
Begins to drizzle a little bit on the ship.
What are your thoughts, crew?
I pull out the sword to see where it's pointing.
Right there, and it seems to be more radiant. Like the beam of light appears to be shining, brighter.
Oh yeah. Well, the sword tells us to go through the storm.
What did we determine that we have some wind producing capabilities?
I can use tempestuous magic
To assist.
and to assist. Yeah.
But
So like
we
if we
haven't-
already have wind, I can basically like focus the wind into one spot and put it on the sails, but
So if it were a storm and there were tons of wind, could
I'm
that
still
be
a
focused
baby.
to like be like a jet stream? I
If you-
mean, I'm
If
just,
I
you'd
was
like
a
to-
higher
it-
level, I think maybe, but
if you'd like to make an Arcana check to theorize what that might mean, Alis.
sure, yeah. 20.
You're very inexperienced in these kind of magics. You would be able to, you still would be able to provide a positive influence, but it would not, on its own, overcome the difficulty. A lot of it would still rely on the sailing ability of whoever is sailing the ship.
Right.
In addition, that would provide its own dangers with you being out in the middle of the storm, keeping everything sailing. I do want to let you know it would help, but
right.
but it's not the do or die, like, oh yeah, you got this as long as you're helping, you know.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I think if it was brought up to Alis as like, you can do this, right?
yeah.
He would look a little concerned and say, I mean, as you've noticed, I'm not very strong. I would have to stay up there and try and direct the winds. I don't know that I'm experienced enough to do much in an actual storm. And to be honest, I think
Alright.
it'll probably just knock me off, and then I'll be no use to you at all.
Aye, we don't want to put you in that kind of danger. All right, full stop, drop anchor. We're gonna see if this storm moves.
Okay.
Dropping the anchor.
The anchor has been dropped. The ship kind of like rocks to a sort of like suspension at that point and then stops.
So
Just so you know that
would-
it is beginning to drizzle on the on the boat.
but we haven't sailed into the
Correct.
ferocity of it.
This is
Okay.
like that. This is like the outer bands.
So I would say let's give it like 15 minutes and just sit tight and see what we see.
Just see what
Sure.
happens. I'm down for that.
Sounds good.
All right.
That sounds like a responsible captain thing to say.
He doesn't mess with storms.
This air and this moisture, it feels familiar.
The storm, after 15 minutes, does not appear to be moving.
Doesn't move.
Nope.
Does it change in any way?
Nope. In fact, go ahead and make another sailing check at advantage now that you've been studying it for a little bit.
What key do I hold to make it do advantage? It's not working. Okay. 24.
Leighton and Armstrong, the storm appears to be shifting around something, but it is not moving as a pattern.
I suspected as much. Something tells me our target's right in the center of that storm.
Aye. Whatever it is, it's a being. The storm is protecting something.
Well, what does that mean? What do we do?
Not sure.
Surely you're not going to say that we just sail into it. The look on his face is like, I know you're going to say that, but please don't say that.
Not sure the old girl can handle it.
I will say you've sailed through worse.
Okay.
But what other choice do we have?
I say we go through it.
All right. Ready the sails.
Aye.
Perhaps ready some of that wind mojo. We'll see.
Wood gnome, get on deck.
What?
I said get on deck
All right.
now.
I'm coming. Wood gnome begins to walk up the stairs, just in a casual pace. Hey, what's up? Ugh. He looks up at the rain.
You ever been in a storm, Wood Gnome?
Well, but yeah, but I'm inside.
Well, just hang on tight.
Looks around a little bit. Okay.
Wood gnome, hoist the sails. Lawrence, pull up the anchor.
Alright. The anchor begins to lift. Wood gnome looks around and then kind of like tugs at the back of Aelis's shirt. What's he going on about?
We're about to sail directly into that storm.
Yeah. But the sail thing. What do I do with that?
What? I don't know.
I don't know either. You just said something. I don't think you do.
Move aside, Wood gnome.
Just keep your eye open for danger.
Okay. Can I do that below deck?
Wood gnome,
Yeah?
now is not
Sure.
the time to joke around.
I wasn't joking.
We'll need you on deck in case any of the rudders or other sailing apparatuses get damaged.
Okay. And then I think he's just gonna like hold on to this and hide behind it a little bit.
Aelis will get behind the sail and try to see if he can like ahead of time sort of get into the zone to be able to affect the winds a little bit.
Okay.
And if he can do it without having to climb up there, because he's pretty positive that if he climbs up there, he's gonna fall.
Okay.
I'm gonna climb the crow. I'm gonna climb the crow's nest and try and do a perception check to see if I can see what's in front of us, or rather be a sailing check.
You could do either. Whichever one you'd rather do. That either would work. I think with that sailing check, you identify the storm a little more. But you also begin to see that the waters themselves are also churning and twisting.
Oh boy.
It's like a vortex.
That would be a fair conclusion.
Can I do an Arcana check or anything to see if I can discern anything from this?
Like if it's magical in nature.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, feel free to make an Arcana check. I would say yes, you would be able to discern that it's magical in nature. There's definitely a magic happening within that storm.
Do you think this storm is in any way related to the sword, you guys, or is this completely separate?
The sword is glowing pretty bright.
I have a hunch. Believe the source may be right in the eye of the storm.
Aye.
And if it's swirling around like you say, perhaps we should try to follow the vortex rather than fight against it.
Aye.
Perhaps it takes us right to the center. What say ye, crew?
Yeah. I mean,
Wood Gnome looks at you and just kind of gives a shrug. I will along for the ride, Captain.
Keep doing your thing there. All right, full speed. Follow the currents.
Lawrence has at that point already begun to lift anchor. You guys are already heading towards the storm. And it's that point that as you begin to enter, the winds begin to pick up, and the it starts to get a little violent as the rains begin to blow through at this point.
Yep.
And it starts to get real heavy.
Oh, I don't have the rain effect on my screen. That's so cool.
Me either.
That's
Me
just
either.
that's just an LVS thing. It lags roll 20 too much. So you're
That's
just gonna
okay.
have-
It looks very cool on yours.
Thank you. It's just a video effect for the viewers.
Well, I did get all the cool stuff.
Because they're the viewers. So I would say at this point the waters really begin to get choppy. So please give me a sailing check
All right.
to keep the ship afloat.
He's.
That's a well, okay, a sailing check for who has the wheel is what I meant. I would say with that sailing check, Armstrong, you're able to keep things steady. Are you Alis, what are you doing during this?
He's trying to determine whether or not he can assist with the wind to like help keep it steady.
I would say you're able to do so.
Okay.
And by doing so, you will be adding a +2 to whatever Armstrong's roll is.
Great.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not trying to speed us up or anything like that. I'm literally just
Trying to keep
attempting
the ship stable, yeah.
Keep the ship stable, yeah.
Yeah.
Leighton, as you're trying to keep the sails stable as well to try and keep it so that, you know, the ship doesn't like tilt over, I would say any successful roll of 10 or higher will also add an additional +2 to Armstrong's sailor's roll.
Nice.
Do you want me to roll right now?
I'm going to include your first roll in that, which means the +2. Right now, Armstrong has a 14, which is enough during these like outer bands of the storm.
Understood.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm just like trying to play like the Link's Awakening raft mini game, and I'm like trying to like catch the currents that are like gonna take us like in a good arc, so we don't go careening into something like a wave.
You begin to go deeper and deeper into the storm. Go ahead and yep, there we go. And it starts to get a little. It starts to get rough. It starts to get a little more rough. I need another sailing check.
Rough.
Leighton adds a +2 to your roll.
Hey.
Armstrong's got a 24. That keeps the ship
Amazing.
nice and stable. Luna, if you are going to be above deck, I need you to roll an athletics or acrobatics check to maintain your balance as the ship begins getting knocked around by the winds and the storm. You keep you keep stable. Just gonna go ahead and do a little roll for yep. All right, wood gnome's good. Lawrence kind of grounds themselves to the center of the ship a little bit here in the back and holds on, keeps himself very stable. Leighton. So you see that the waters are churning around, but they're not really churning around in too much of a big circle until you get deeper in. And following the waters is rough because you begin to see rocks are kind of like jetting up from the ocean,
Rocks.
from the sea. It's at this point you realize, Leighton, and as well as Armstrong, that you believe you're like fighting waves that are rocking the ship up and down, but you're not. You're actually descending along with this water.
Oh.
What?
So we're being pulled in.
Yep. And as you turn around and look behind you, you see the water is at an angle above you. and you're just kind of like surfing down this area. It drops deep for a moment, and that's when you see it, as if the entire ocean itself was about to end.
I fucking knew it. I knew it.
Huh.
As you begin to sail straight down this whirlpool, you begin to see this jettison of towers and tops. You have arrived at what you can only theorize as the sunken city of Krakos. And it has now begun to surface.
I told you guys it was a tower dungeon.
I'm into it.
Me too. Let's do this shit.
I need another sailing check as you are getting knocked around.
Oh boy.
Leighton adds +2. At this point, yep, another +2. That is not gonna be enough as the ship begins to capsize to its size.
Wait, no. Hey, Liz, roll.
Well, I'm not on the wheel. I'm doing the wind thing. I give the +2.
Right, but I did +2.
Yep, and Ayla's got +2. That is currently at 12. The DC has increased as you get over to the center. It begins to turn over to its side.
Oh boy.
I'm going to need one more roll from Armstrong.
Come on, Armstrong.
Is it sailing?
Yep, I also
Armstrong,
need Leighton
you
to
got
make another
this.
sailing to see if we can get a +2 to that. Well,
Could do it, Captain.
Why am I rolling so bad?
Oh my God, Leighton, grab the wheel. It's a 23, bro.
Armstrong, move aside, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, if that's even an option. Just getting spun around by this wheel with my 8 strength.
I need everyone to make an athletics or acrobatics check.
Oh no.
I'm fucked, dude.
Okay.
Nat 20, baby.
Okay. Okay.
Well, 19 on that.
Everyone's good.
Oh,
Except Wood Gnome. With a critical miss, gets swooped off the boat in a
Oh my
different
God.
direction.
oh shit, dude.
Oh my god.
No, man.
Lauren stays
can I
there.
do anything to help him? Like lightning lure him or something like that?
Oh, Jesus. Like pull him back with the lightning lure?
Yeah.
That's... go ahead and do a lightning lure attack.
Oh my God. This poor dude. But at least he wouldn't be dead, right?
He will fail on purpose, taking 4 points of lightning damage,
Oh, I'm sorry, Wood Gnome.
but manages to get pulled back before he's swept away into the ocean. I would say that 4 turns into 6 damage because of the storm around.
Wood Gnome, I'm so sorry.
However, it's still not enough.
Oh.
As the ship capsizes
Oh.
and you all go under.
Cool.
666, crushing it so far, guys.
Thanks, Dice. Very cool.
You all black out for a brief bit, as the currents and oceans begin to sway and move you around. You're really not certain of what has happened with the boat, but you all are submerged underwater at this point in time. With your acrobatics athletics, you managed to keep yourselves afloat, so you're not drowning. And I would say at that point, you would awaken on a beach of some sort. I'll move your tokens over here. Just kind of like the rain and storm is still pounding down over on you. And you see that the ship is beached as well, but it's on its side currently.
Oh no! Oh no!
And it's probably gonna need some sort of repair.
Oh no, Alis. So many pieces of paper.
I worked so hard. I was about to ask where Lawrence is.
They're with you as well.
Okay.
And Wood Gnome would have absolutely have been gone if it wasn't for the fast thinking.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, there's no like story of like, oh, but everyone's no. I mean, if people die, people are gonna die, and Wood Gnome was on his way out.
I just hope Sterling's okay. I mean, it's cool that Wood Gnome's alive, but I hope Sterling's okay.
The ship. Well, I mean, he was. Well, you don't know. I mean, you'd have to check the capsized ship.
I don't know. Yeah, I won't know.
Yeah. At that point, you would all awaken. The stinging rain is pounding just down over on your body and bases. Your clothes are just completely drenched. And as you awaken, you see that you're like right out, like as you're looking around, you see where the ocean's like dipping down, and you see that it's descending down into the lost city of Krakos. You're really uncertain how you're gonna get there at this point, but you do appear to be on an island.
Wait.
So we're
Say
not
that
on
again?
Krakos right now. We're
No.
on like an island nearby the storm.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Do we
So
see, if I look out, do I see the ship?
It is beached, but off on its side with masts broken. Like the sail's like snapped in half.
Okay.
So it's gonna take some effort to get it right side up, and then the sail's gonna need to be repaired.
Oh boy.
And you're in the middle of this eternal storm right now.
I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break.
Let's go ahead and I'll take a quick bathroom break.
Yeah, could we all take a doom break?
Yeah, doom break. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. We'll resume at 6:18
I
Sounds
need to
good.
process.
or 3:18. All right. I too will be right back. All right, I'll be right back.
Brett didn't mute us. We ain't muted. It's anarchy, baby.
Hey, chat. Welcome
Hey,
to
chat. Guess
welcome
what?
to Welcome to DJ Layton's Power Hour. What's up? What's up?
DJ Layton!
DJ Layton. We're playing the same pirate track for the next 24 hours.
Hell yeah! Yar, yar, yar! Shish boom bar! A banger. I grabbed a comfort snack.
What'd you get?
Almond things, because I'm a grandmother.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. All right. We're just waiting for Hunter to return.
The Dukester.
The Dukester. How's everyone feeling right now?
Man, I don't know how the fuck we're gonna get back out there with no ship.
I feel super guilty for Wood Gnome. I'm like, he probably would have just been fine and ended up on the beach with us, and I like freaking lightning lured him.
No.
Brett said he would have died.
He would have absolutely
Oh.
not. Yeah, he would have been. I don't know if he would have died, but he definitely would not be with you guys.
Okay.
Chances of death very high. He rolled a nat 1.
Oh.
So you did good.
Whew.
Yeah, you did very good. I like to imagine Hunter's in like a panic mode right now. He's just
Yeah, chat for your edification. In our misdemeanor chat, immediately after we crashed, Hunter wrote, "I'm gonna need a potty break after this disaster." In all caps. It's good.
So we're gonna see what happens once he gets back. Is he crying? Should I call him? Is he crying right now?
Oh. Hey, bud. You okay?
Hey man,
we're good.
You all right?
Were you crying?
Were you crying? Yeah, the ship isn't destroyed, but it definitely
No.
it's definitely gonna need a little help. And you're in the middle of an island.
But you had me you had me sweating.
I mean, you're in trouble. I don't want to play down the situation,
Oh, I know, but
but
you know, could be worse.
could be worse, man.
Sometimes
could-
the rolls just dick you, dude. What can you do?
They really did.
That's the beauty of D&D.
So beautiful. What did I get? A 2, a 4.
Um,
And a 6.
so you all awaken at the beach, drenched, shaking, and you see the boat, the capsized misdemeanor, the broken sail. What do you do?
Is it still raining?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the storm hasn't let on up. The rain is stinging at you right now.
Are there any like caves around here, or like a way that we can see to get up to this level?
They seem to be rock ledges that you'll have to climb up.
Oh, God. Yeah, Alis would kind of yell over the rain. If you're all okay, we need to find some shelter.
Aye. I will pull out my grappling hook. How tall is this wall?
10 feet. 10 feet.
10 feet. Oh,
That's not too bad.
easy. Grappling hook. Boom.
Make an athletics check.
Can I hook it onto like a tree?
Yeah.
Yeah. 10.
The grappling hook, as you try to do a toss, it was not a strong enough toss, as the wind blows it back and hits you square in the forehead.
Cool.
Can he try again, and can I try to assist?
Absolutely.
I got one of them's grappling hooks too. If you need a.
I'll try to just with what juice I got left in the pot. I'll try to keep the wind from like destabilizing
Why
it too
don't we
much.
go back in the ship? I
Shut
don't want
up,
to be out here.
Woodgnome! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Lawrence nods in agreement with Leighton, not with
Agreement with
Woodgnome.
what?
With Leighton. Obviously with Leighton.
I agree. He should shut up.
Obviously with Leighton. All right. Make that athletics check.
Oh, it's going again.
Yep, get a +2 as baby Alis moves
up
moves the
15.
wind through. That's good. Leighton, I don't know why you're making an athletics check, but
I'm also here. Hi.
yes. Leighton gives a powerful flex over there. Armstrong, you toss
What an
the
athlete.
grappling hook, and it was about to blow back. But fortunately, the wind from Alis glides the hook over, and you're able to tie it to the tree.
Thank God.
Are you guys ready for athletics checks up these ropes?
So
I'm
ready.
just gonna let everyone go before me.
Do you remember Breath of the Wild, where you would constantly slip off the cliffside?
No. What?
It is raining.
Do you remember how I have a -1 to athletics?
Can we roll acrobatics instead?
No, because I don't think you're. I don't think that you're
A 10.
flimsy. Yeah. Hey, that all looks good. That all looks good. I'm gonna.
God, you strong boys.
I have
Lauren-
a +1 at this.
Lawrence is good. And yep, you all managed to climb up successfully.
Sick.
So
Bye.
feel free. Bye.
What's this? Does this look like shelter?
Yeah, and it appears to be lit as a fire is glowing from
It's lit.
within.
Oh.
So you're just charging through the front door?
Pretty much. This sucks.
Okay.
I mean, that's where Captain Armstrong's head is at. It's just like, this all just sucks. We need to get dry.
What's
Okay.
this thing over here? Is this a campfire or?
It appears to be a bucket of water that's being filled
Ooh.
up. All right, give me one moment, and I'll move you inside as you tackle your way within. Try and get yourself warm.
What if it's just the ghost?
What?
He's like, hey man, I also crashed the Lady Luck.
Whoa, what a
Wild,
twist!
huh?
What a twist!
Oh shit, I guess we're just all here together. We might as well talk through our issues. What a crazy ending for Misdemeanor Season 1.
That's right. This is it. This is the finale.
Yeah.
finale.
Yeah, that one
Sick,
random
guys.
person in chat was correct. This is indeed the
According to
finale.
Dodger's
I'm-
Discord.
Yeah, I messaged Brett today because during my stream earlier, somebody was the way that they put it was basically like, today is the finale of Misdemeanor. And I was like, what? It is?
How do you like
Spoiler, it was not.
my interior storm sound?
I love it.
Oh,
I had to
very nice.
edit that.
Cozy.
I'm gonna put on some lo-fi.
Wait, there's a
Oh.
dude in here.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely a dude in here, and you just charged in.
Is it our dude from last time?
No,
No.
it is not. It is not.
He looks like the Foot Clan from Ninja Turtles.
He so he turns. He's actually he's wood gnome size.
Oh.
He's wearing what appears to be the skull of a dragon wormling, old and dilapidated. And he turns to you, not surprised. Underneath the mask and robes is that of a kobold.
Kobold.
Ugh. Welcome.
Greetings, we come in peace. We mean you no harm.
Well, I would hope
Is he speaking
so.
common?
Yes,
Okay.
he's speaking
Yeah, he
common
is.
tongue. I have to get my audio. Well, I would hope so. You've come in. Interrupted, I would dare say.
Yes, I'm so sorry. We've actually crashed outside and it's just pouring rain.
Yes, get yourself by the fire, warm yourself up. You wouldn't want to get a cold.
Thank you so much.
Uh-huh. Yes.
I'd start taking off like my big heavy coat and my boots and like putting them up where they can get dry.
I think technically, not to talk about prestidigitation again, but I think prestidigitation can dry all of our clothes. It just won't warm us up.
Yes, it
Whoa.
literally, prestidigitation is literally just this, the do-all for miscellaneous tasks. It always has
Ooh,
been.
I would love to help dry people's clothes.
Warm yourself by the fire, dries your clothes.
Doing that and doesn't know that magic can solve all his problems.
Are you hungry? Dried lizard snacks in the barrels.
That's sounding better than fish at this point.
Thank you so much for your hospitality. We're so sorry to barge in on you like this.
That's okay. I've been expecting
I'm gonna
people.
try a lizard snack.
I've been
Did you
expecting
say you've been
people.
expecting us?
But you specifically? No. But I have been expecting people to arrive here.
Why?
The craziness of the storm. The town that's just emerging from the water.
Aye, that's logical.
So, whose side are you on? And he looks up at Armstrong.
Oh, the side where eldritch fiends don't run around having their way with everything.
That's fair. So you're not part of the War Master's crew?
Nay, as a matter of fact, we're in pursuit of him. That's how we ended up here.
Oh.
How do you know about the War Master?
No, I know much about the city of Krakos.
How do we kill him?
Well, like you do with anything. You stab him with a pointy stick straight into him. Probably going to need something magical, though. I heard he's not living very well these days.
Hey, we've got the magic weapons covered.
I've got the pointy end, no problem.
I apologize if I'm being rude or cryptic. I am Sholomar, a sort of witch doctor, a lore keeper of the histories. My family heritage has passed down the story of Krakos, understanding that this was its resting place.
Alos looks very interested and says, "Could you tell us, well, as much as you're willing to?"
I'll tell you all, sure. It seems to be the end of the world, after all.
That's subjective.
Well, depends if the War Master gets his way, huh?
Aye, it's always the end of the world.
I suppose. What would you like to know, exactly?
Well,
Or I could just start from the beginning.
Yes, I suppose. What was the city before?
aye.
The Kingdom of Krakos. Glorious, an absolute glorious kingdom. It was once a powerful nation, one of the first of Io, in fact. It lived through a golden era of peace and prosperity, riches galore, and absolute advancements in civilization. But there was this one man, you see, simply dubbed himself and known as the War Master of Krakos. He stepped forward believing that a golden age like this would not exactly last. I mean, it's the type of peace. Every belly's been full. Everyone is rich. But there's no poverty, no disease. The War Master was a paranoid individual that believed that other kingdoms, unknown, hidden within the shadows, would one day come over and rob the prosperous nation of Krakos of their riches. And because of this, And because the people didn't know any better, he essentially sowed deceit and terror upon the people. Until there was an outcry that perhaps Krakos needed an army. It needed to defend themselves in case these invaders, and he kind of does like air quotes at that point, arrive. There needed to be a way to protect this city, this precious utopia. And it wasn't until he was put into power that the War Master, well, his plot was revealed. He wanted to gain influence so that he may become Lord of Krakos. He wasn't interested in protecting it. He wanted it all for himself. He wanted to be some sort of lord and ruler. And that is what he wanted. There was no invaders. There was no threats coming in. He sent all that so that people would head over to his side, and that he would be able to protect these people. Once this was discovered, he was banished from the city. Him and his followers left the city of Krakos, the first to be banished, in fact. Now, the War Master, of course, is an angry individual, and he was seeking power and greed, and soon fell to a desperation now that he had absolutely nothing. It wasn't until he met an entity simply known as the Deep One, a being of unknown appearances. No one's really seen this individual, this being. And while this being didn't have a true name, the War Master was able to make a pact with the Deep One. And the Deep One simply wanted to consume all, devour, eat, always hungry. And so the War Master, being, what's the word? That's what's the word when you're full of yourself? What's it? Cocky?
Vain?
Oh, like
Cocky? Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say cocky. Like there's an elegant
looking for
word.
like hubris or...
Conceited?
Yeah. Or pompous, hubris. Yeah. Arrogant. That's the word I was looking for.
Arrogant.
Yeah. The War Master, arrogant as always, felt that he had the ability to weaponize this Deep One, and revealed to the Deep One the location of Krakos. And because of this, the entire kingdom was swallowed up by a vengeful War Master who led the charge. And the Deep One, well, even consumed the foolish War Master, destroying him entirely. And who I felt didn't even realize that he himself was getting into such a careless pact. And now I see it, this vengeful War Master who still wishes to reclaim Krakos for his own. The vengeful being who wishes to return the gold to Krakos, to rule over it, and continue its conquest over all of the New Worlds. And once the city of Krakos rises, he'll be able to command an army, the fallen of Krakos, and continue his campaign to conquer. The War Master is just that, a master of battle. You see, if you return the gold of Krakos, the fallen denizens will follow. They say whoever has the gold is the king, and I think that is what the War Master is seeking. I saw him sailing on a derelict ship, creating the whirlpool that you see around, and the fallen city rises.
That's my ship!
Wait, Leighton. Doesn't that mean, he was on the ship with you. He was a crewmate. Did he purposefully create this situation for everyone to die?
He didn't expect for me to win. What can you tell me about this? He pulls out the sword and puts it straight into the floor.
Oh. And he looks at it. This is the sword of war, specifically forged in Krakos. It was meant to be the War Master's blade. Fortunately, he didn't get his hands on it. He was already banished from the kingdom after it was made. A powerful weapon. said to have the ability to slaughter many, defend Krakos against its imaginary invaders. And you have the blade. Interesting. Where did you find this sword?
The sword chose me. I lift up the back of my shirt to reveal the number in primordial over my shoulder.
Krakos made a living weapon? How foolish. But I suppose I understand when people get desperate and not really certain what they're up against. You wield a weapon that in itself is an entity. I would be careful with that sword. It isn't a tool. It is a being. And it is simply letting you wield it. It was crafted with one thing in mind, to slaughter Krakos' enemies. I suppose in this case that would be the War Master. So, what are you going to do about it?
I have an above game question.
Yes.
Is the deep one a ocean related like god or something that a sailing veteran would know about?
You can go ahead and make a history or sailing check if you'd like to know more about the deep one.
Sailing. Wow, that's an 8.
The deep.
2.
Those that sail the seas know that there is kind of are superstitious and believe in like gods and things like that. The deep one is just an overall entity of chaos and destruction, much like the ocean. Leighton, you would know that the deep one also has another name, which is Krakos, which is the city that it consumed. It essentially is believed to be like this giant, chaotic, amphibious creature. Whether it is a real thing or not, it's still fabled to be like a myth, essentially. So no one's actually. Well, people have claimed to see the deep one, but it could also be old sailors' tales. And that is all the information that the two of you would know with the rolls that you got.
Okay. More than I expected.
Can I make a roll based on being in school and maybe having to learn about them?
Yeah, you can go and make a history check.
19.
You had a very interest in amphibious and sea creatures, considering that you're familiar was a sea snake.
Right.
So yeah, you probably would have read about the deep one, about the rumors of it just being this, at this point, giant squid-like creature, squid/octopus like creature that is massive. Said to be this. The sizes vary, but it's said to be literally the sizes of like a small town. Essentially.
Okay.
Wow.
And all it does is just eat and consume. Some theorize the tides and the waves and the storm patterns are all created by this deep one, but magically speaking, from a studious standpoint, that makes no sense. And that's why it's more an old wives' tale and myth than it is actual facts. But many sailors do believe that.
Would it be okay to make a roll related to like the artifact that my father had? Just to see if I had any kind of knowledge or if I ever looked anything up about the connection between that and...
Yes, you can go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Okay.
And by artifact, are you talking about the coin that he had, or are you talking about another thing?
Yeah, the coin that he had.
And unfortunately with that, you can't really tell much. The coin has similarities with the coin that you guys put into Leighton's sword, but that's about it.
Shaman, can you tell me about the
Yes.
coin that we put in the sword?
Oh, that is simply a coin of Krakos, because you show it to him. That is a standpoint is currency. Do you and the sword, by the way, I forgot to mention, is no longer pointing a light. It's just giving a green radiant glow, as if it has finally arrived home.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, he looks at the coin. That is simply a currency. Inserting it into the hilt. Well, that's smart. It'll always guide the sword back to where it was made. Very smart. You've created a beacon of some sort.
So if we wish to draw less attention to ourselves, we could simply remove the coin.
The sword will let you.
Aye. Well, we should consider this sword an ally. So far, it helped us.
Wait, but I'm confused now. Are we trying to kill this man, or are we trying to actually combat a deity? Because I believe that one is completely outside of our scope.
Yes. If you're worried about a deep one being there, I'm sure it is long since passed. Nothing left to consume, by the way. The deep one has probably moved on to its next meal. Although I wouldn't be surprised if the War Master tried to weaponize the deep one again. In all the tales that I've heard, the War Master is definitely an arrogant individual who believes that if he puts his mind to it, well, he can conquer the entire planet of Io if he wanted to. I think right now he's simply wishing to claim Krakos. But I would be cautious if he claims Krakos. Well, then he claims the denizens and the souls that have been killed there. And I believe the War Master has some sort of, perhaps, influence over souls, would you say?
Aye, but I do as well. Using the sword, I can summon the souls that I've slain and resummon to it.
Then
Seems.
I believe... Yeah, go on.
I was just gonna say, the sword seems to be tethered to the souls of its slain enemies.
Or maybe if you're able to weaken the War Master, you can reclaim his soul as well.
All right, well, it sounds to me that if we can use his arrogance against him and focus on just getting the gold away from him, that's the key to all of this, isn't it?
True.
You
Without
need
the gold, he
in
has
order to
no
claim
power.
the city.
This is
He
true.
made that clear on our first encounter, as a matter of fact.
True. He's very concerned with making sure that the ship could still hold the gold and that the ship was still moving.
Where is the gold now?
It's on the
On
ship.
the ship.
He just looks out the window. Ah.
Not on our ship.
No, as in, like, he looks outside the window past your ship, like,
Gotcha.
you mean the ship that he just sailed into the pit of Krakos?
Aye.
Aye.
If you know a quick way to get there, now would be the time to tell us.
The storm is posing quite an issue. It's capsized our ship, as I'm sure you've seen.
He would let out a visible smile underneath the skull of the dragon wormling. Well, perhaps I may know a way you may not like it. If you plan to go into the hallowed grounds of Krakos.
I'm listening.
You wish to enter a city of the dead. I'm afraid the living will not be welcomed there.
Ugh.
Aelys looks around at everybody like, I'm out.
I'm not saying as to do anything as to, like, kill you, but simply provide a ritual, a barrier to to fool the city in thinking that you are one of its denizens. It's incredibly temporary. And if the barrier were to drop, well, then your life would begin to wither and drain away, as the city of Krakos will attempt to claim you. I'm certain the War Master is welcome there, already being dead.
And how do we get back?
And he kind of like begins to think to himself. I suppose very quickly.
Aye, come on, shaman. Don't talk like that. You know what to do.
I do. I can provide the ritual to give you the barrier. But to get you back, well, that would probably be a little bit out of my power. He kind of like thinks to himself a little bit, and then he looks around.
Alis would look at Leighton and say, it's not going to be enough to just get the gold. We're going to have to claim your ship back and then sail it out of there.
I don't even have the power to get that ship out of there. The War Master
you
can
might.
make it fly.
But if the city believes that we're meant to be there, it might consider us on the same level as the warmonger. He hasn't claimed the city yet. So why can he do it, but we can't?
Aye, my crew! My crew has been claimed. They are amongst the dead. I can recruit them to steal the ship.
You'd have to recruit a lot, but that is possible. But also,
How many do you have?
14 within the sword.
you could always claim more while you're there. But more importantly, the War Master doesn't have the entire treasure yet. And then he just looks at your sword.
He needs the sword.
But then why would he have sailed away from us? Why didn't he make sure that we died and take the sword from you by force?
Maybe he doesn't know.
Alis like starts to chuckle almost and goes, well, he's going to be very upset when we see him then.
At that point, when he says maybe he doesn't know, the kobold just smiles a little bit.
Well, how do you suggest we get through this storm?
Oh. The sword. You said it's a being.
That's correct.
Armstrong, hold out your arms.
He does.
I throw the sword to Armstrong, and the sword immediately flies back into my arm. The War Master can't have the sword. It's bound to me.
You are its chosen, after all.
Wait, how does that help us get there?
It doesn't. But at the very least, the War Master can't complete the ritual without the sword, which means the War Master needs to kill me to take it.
That would be
And
true.
he won't be doing that.
Well, I suppose that's our bait then, as morose as that is to say.
Shaman,
Yes.
we recently met a magical man who informed me that I can control some kind of sea creature with this blade. A kraken, if you will.
He looks over at you.
Is that not true? That's what I'm.
No, that's good. He looks at you and he says, you've been informed that you can control a sea creature, a kraken.
I don't know how to summon it. I don't know the protocol of controlling it, if it's friendly or foe. I just know that I somehow possess the ability to summon a kraken.
He would chuckle. I don't think you can just summon any Kraken. I think you can use the sword to commune with the Deep One. Well, that would definitely kill your War Master. But you would also bring forth a monster of pure consumption.
Do you mean to tell me the Deep One is the Kraken?
I theorize it may be.
Kraken,
No.
Krakos.
I'm not.
Starting to
No,
sound familiar.
we're not trying to communicate or summon a deep one. Absolutely not. That's where I draw the line.
He
Boy.
turns over to Aelys and it's just like, I mean, it would solve your problem very quickly.
It consumes everything. What would stop it from consuming us? Even if it left Leighton alone, has no reason to be bound to us.
It's a last resort.
Aelys looks at him like, no!
Well, the way that I would see it, we could probably prevent it from consuming you. You would just call it to the city of Krakos. It would consume the city and the War Master. The whirlpool will end, the ocean will subside. And then you would leave as fast as possible, so as it not consume you too. I'm sure I could help you out with that somehow.
I don't know if you've noticed, Shaman, but we don't have a lot of lives to sacrifice here.
No lives to sacrifice. None at all.
I'm trying to summon a sea monster.
Just
Pretty
something,
low on my list of priorities.
just something to think about. It is the simplest solution.
You know better than anyone, Shaman. Nothing is simple.
Yeah, we learned that the hard way.
Multiple times.
Well, just keep it in the back of your mind then, I suppose, if you are having difficulty. I suppose we could always sail you off into the middle of Krakos. Getting back might be a problem. Then he looks around. Who is the captain of your crew?
Hey,
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Captain Cornelius Armstrong of the Miss Demeanor, at your service.
Captain Leighton Beardthrone of Lady Luck.
He looks to the two of you. Perhaps I should speak with the captains alone. And then
Aelys will look at Armstrong and Leighton.
All right, you can speak to me and me first mate.
Aye. You can talk to the first mate if you'd like, but the captain's going to be right here.
You know what? Fine. I actually don't want to be here for this conversation anyway. It becomes insufferable.
So you all would leave back into the rain a little bit, maybe to the awning.
Yeah, I'll cast create bonfire and make a magical bonfire to like try and keep us like kind of warm.
All right, so you two are the captains.
Aye.
I could probably bring you back to a location of your desire once you're done with your dealings within the city of Krakos. But I need a barter.
What sorts of things are you looking for?
Well, two captains. Perhaps I could find a couple of boons between the two of you.
Look, if it's ladies you want, you can just get it back on the other island. I don't have boobs for you.
What? I'm not interested
You said
in
you
that.
want boobs. I don't have boobs.
What? Boons!
Oh, boons. Boons, sorry.
Boons!
Sorry, I thought you said boobs.
I'm not interested in that.
Oh my god.
Aye.
So, I could provide you with an additional layer of protection in case the barrier were ever to go down while you're within the city of the dead. Keep your crew alive, I believe that's something that the two of you would find most important, yes?
Aye.
Aye.
I could provide an extra protection for them. I don't believe I would be able to provide it for the two of you. But you probably shouldn't let them know that, in case they're the self-sacrificing kind.
Well, what sort of protection are you talking about?
You'll be given a sort of temporary barrier as the city of the dead will continue to chomp and eat at it, believing it to be your actual living essence and force. In fact, it is a sort of facade. Pretend it to be a sort of fake food. But the barrier
Like a
will...
decoy.
Exactly. But the barrier will eventually be chewed through. I can provide a second layer for your crew. In addition, I can also tether the majority of you back to where you need to go. Where would you go after you finished your task here on Krakos? I could probably send you there.
We came from Kathos, right?
Well, Kathos is the continent. You came from Kreshart.
Kreshart, that's right.
Yeah. But what do you respond to him?
Yeah. I'm trying to...
I feel like that's a bit of a group discussion.
You may not want it to be.
The choice is simple. Do you require both captains or one?
One.
I'm going.
He turns
This is
over.
my-
Yeah, go on.
This is my burden to bear. I got everyone involved.
Well,
You got it, shaman.
just to be clear, you all will be sent, but one of you may not return. You offer yourself in place?
Aye.
Is this fine with you, Captain? He looks over to Armstrong.
Well, what do you want in return?
Him. And he points over to Leighton.
Armstrong's just kind of looking at Leighton and then looking back at Kobold.
Well, what what do you plan to do with them?
Just a simple sacrifice. A soul, if you will. His will belong to me.
Leighton, what are you feeling here?
Shaman, we need the room.
And the room I shall give you. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me.
Sorry, I didn't know where you were going.
No,
I
it's-
just
It's fine.
Sorry,
it's
I didn't-
fine.
I'm sorry.
I would recommend you keeping this to yourself. Sharing this with your crew may want everyone to throw their name into the sacrifice hat. I see this happen often with deals. I'll be outside if you need me.
Sacrifice hat. Fuck.
So he's basically saying that he can give us that pretend we're dead disguise.
So the deal is, everyone gets a barrier layer to protect yourselves in the city of the dead. He will give your crew, not the two of you, a second layer because he can't do it twice to the whole crew, but he can give your crew it because he's believing you'll be okay with that since you're the captains. And once you're done there, he will give you the ability to tether back the whole crew back to Kreshart. But it is sounding like one person will have to stay behind. And the person who stays behind, he wants their soul afterwards.
What's he gonna do with their soul? Do we know?
Nope.
Staying behind, that implies like dying, right?
I would
may-
assume so.
It may. He stayed.
Not sure how much I like a deal where we don't all come out alive.
He stayed. The deal is he wants one of your souls, and the majority of the crew will make it back.
It only makes sense if I go, Captain. This has been my life for the last 10 years. A decade tethered to that ship. What life do I have? My crew be dead. I have no one around to remember who I am. The boy has a life. Luna and you have each other. Wood Gnome. Lawrence is trying to build an airship.
Leighton, I'm not sure if you know this, but you're quite a bit younger than myself. If anyone should be making the sacrifice, it should be me.
I have been tormented for far too long, Armstrong. I just want to sleep. I want to rest.
Aye, and won't it be great to rest? Alive and well, once this is taken care of.
Oh, you old coot, who's gonna take care of the misdemeanor?
I'm sure someone will be up for the challenge.
This is my curse to bear.
That being said, I don't like this plan at all.
Neither do I. But we don't have much of a choice.
You know, no one's rolled insight on this dude, have they?
I don't think so.
I did not.
I want to see if I buy this. Is that something I can do, Brett?
Not while he's out of the room.
Well, just like assess what he's said and I don't know. see if it makes
You'd have to
sense.
be in conversation with him
Okay.
again. I think.
Okay.
I have an idea, Armstrong. This is a trade agreement. Pirates are great at trade. So why don't we have a bit of a conversation with him about some winning conditions, if you will. If we fail, great. What happens? You all go back to the port? The world still ends, the War Master lives on, and my soul means nothing. But if we win, there's got to be something in it for us as well. The one that wins the most is the shaman. He gets my soul no matter what. Some shady business if you ask me.
Aye. And he's presenting us with problems that we didn't know we had until we talked to him.
Aye.
Sounds like a snake oil salesman.
Truth be told, I thought he was the deep one in disguise.
Wouldn't be surprised if he served the deep one.
Aye. Shaman!
I see you've come to an arrangement. You look at the bucket. You need to make. Okay, so what do you do first of all?
I mean, at this point, I'm willing to intimidate him, try and deceive him. I'm willing to wrestle the shit out of him.
Well,
I'm willing.
What do you want to do? Is the question? Like, what do you say? So, what have you decided?
I don't know, Armstrong. What did we decide?
I don't think we decided anything except that we don't like this plan.
Yeah.
So, what do you say to him? Do you send him
Looking
back
at Leighton
out?
like, you called him in here.
Yeah.
I know. Shaman.
Yes.
It sounds like you get the great side of the deal in all of this. Whether the world ends, whether we succeed or fail, you still get your soul. What about my crew? If we win or fail, it doesn't matter. What do we get out of all of this bargain?
Oh, you'll be doing a great good.
Oh, don't give me the great good. Look at you. You look like you could turn a whole church into a bunch of zombies.
I wouldn't do such a thing.
But you look like you could.
Well, that's just rude.
Oh,
Judging
come
someone
on.
on their appearance.
Maybe we should start calling you the Deep One.
Preposterous. I would never accept such a name.
Okay, Deep One.
Okay.
Well, if you're just after a soul, there's plenty of souls out there. Why does it have to be one of ours?
Yours particularly seem to be seasoned. I love that, the soul of a pirate captain. You have been through so much, the many voyages and adventures that you've been in, makes your soul especially a little tainted, but very satisfying.
You want one of our souls? Fine. But you don't get it till we live a long life and die of old age. We won't all be staying in Krakos. None of us will be. We don't accept the deal if you're leaving someone behind.
He thinks to himself.
Can I roll something?
What would you like to roll?
Like persuasion?
Yeah, feel free.
Just have a really good persuasion. 19.
He thinks to himself. So you want to live a full life?
Aye. In my case, who knows, 3 or 4 years.
All right. You. And he points over to Armstrong.
No, me, my soul.
He looks back at you. I'm fine with both of your souls. But his is the one that I'm interested in. He said it himself. 3 or 4 years.
And that was hyperbole. It was an example, not actually 4 or 5 years.
Aye, no one said anything about 7 or 8 years.
He walks up to you. I will bring all of you back. But I lay claim on your soul.
So it is within your power. You just wanted to speed up the dying process.
He shrugs a little bit. We're negotiating. What are you doing, Leighton?
Cracking my fists. I can also negotiate with my fists if you want.
He just kind of turns over to you and just says, "This is the deal. This is what's the deal that you brought up. I get to keep your soul, and all of you are free to return back home. No one gets left behind. I think this is a fair deal."
One last thing. How can you prove to us you even have this power?
Yeah, you Deep One.
Perhaps a sample, if you will.
Aye. Sample sounds great.
He looks over at Leighton. Do you accept the test?
I look at Armstrong. Look back at the shaman. Aye.
At that point, he holds his hands out over the fire. And as he does so, it immediately turns this deep, dark purple. And as if the entire room's light has been snuffed out. All you see is the flashes of the lightning. Leighton, make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
Leighton's body falls limp.
Oh.
Armstrong, what do you do?
So, that's supposed to impress me?
You can check him if you want. At that point, you see a small, faint light hover above him like a firefly.
I will investigate this.
What are you investigating exactly?
Well, okay. Let me feel for a pulse on Leighton.
You don't feel a pulse. His body has gone cold.
Okay, and then there's this light.
Mm-hmm.
What's it doing? How's it looking?
It's kind of hovering. It looks like it's moving around a bit. And you kind of see that the kobold is still like holding his hands as if he's trying to suspend something. I hope you're satisfied with this. I can't keep it there for long.
What is that? What are you doing?
That's his soul.
Being able to rip a man's soul out doesn't prove anything.
He looks over
Put
at
it
you.
back!
And he then just drops the soul back in, and Leighton, you just like begin breathing again with like a big heavy cough.
All right, you've got some power.
Would now be the time for some insight on whether or not we think he can actually do what he says he can do.
Yeah, you're free to see if he's
Okay.
got to, you can do that any time to see if he's deceiving you.
11.
He seems to have the power, especially after saying the soul thing, to move souls around and things like that. Leighton, your lip on the ground, and you just kind of like get up a little bit. And he does. He's a man of his word. But I suppose he specifically, it feels like, what's the best way to describe it? He's willing to make the deal. Like, he's definitely genuine in his deal. But he's not trying to, you can tell, like, whenever he's talking about, like, soul moving and things like that, he doesn't want to get into details about, like, why he needs this, like, why he wants the soul and the souls and things like that.
Leighton, what do you think?
Shaman! Conjure the contract in paper, please.
He looks around. Paper?
Aye, scroll, scripture.
He would then look around at some of the stuff, and he would look out at everyone who's, like, underneath. Does anyone have paper here?
We're soaked.
Yeah, so we can try it, but do you have, like, any sort of parchment on you?
Alis normally would, but I don't think he, like, we capsized. I don't think he has anything.
Oh, no. He would then... He would at that point, like rip out part of the straw that is that and just kind of begin binding it around with his hands. And he hands it to you, and he's like, I don't have ink or anything like that. I really haven't had any need for that. Our stories are passed by and shared generation to generation.
Shaman, you mean to tell me that you're a man of contracts and business and don't have a way to prepare a contract? Jesus.
Well, it's a simple blood binding, really.
Armstrong, what is with people nowadays? Pirates, true pirates, they read contracts, they know the code, they know the books. They deal with amateurs like this. Jesus. Ah.
And he shrugs a little bit. He's like, we don't have to make a deal. You can always try your best, but it will be rather difficult.
Shaman, I know you're not the pirate, but how the pirate code works is you create a contract, a pirate signed it in blood, but before they do, they read all the fine print to understand the acquiesce, the pro-acquisition.
Aye, what he said.
Or the way that my tribe handles it, we simply speak with our words and then make a blood pact. Nice and simple, no documentation. Ultimately, This is all up to you. I'm offering a service. If you're not interested, well, I wish you the best of luck at the city of Krakos. But you risk being eaten alive down there, and probably will lose 1, 2, maybe a few members of your crew, and then their deaths will be on your hands.
All right, we have a deal. We said we had a deal. Let's seal it, however.
He would walk
Doesn't
over.
matter to me.
He would walk over to Leighton. Offer your hand.
I stick it out.
And he looks. Sorry. Walks over to Armstrong and says, offer a hand. I forgot I said Leighton. Although I like the idea of like he goes to Armstrong and be like, offer a hand, and Leighton still sticks out his hand.
Yeah. Are we about to slice our hands open and shake on it?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, I would assume
No.
that Armstrong knows the drill and
No, my hand. My
got
hand.
his dagger and.
No, my hand. Shaman,
Yes.
you know the deal. I am
Leighton.
the chosen one. It is my cross to bear. Sacrifice me.
You're gonna thank me for this someday.
Oh, shut up, old man. Sign it with my hand.
And I reach out and I shake the kobold's hand.
He shakes back. And then he looks at Leighton and says, well, if you offer your hand as well, I can probably extend his life.
What?
I could probably extend his life a little longer.
This is why I hate shamans and they're by the wind of the seas. They don't use contracts. They don't write anything down. They just willingly offer things like they
I mean,
should from the
I'm perfectly fine with 2 captain souls.
I don't need an extension on me life. I'm gonna live another 69 years. Don't you worry about me.
I believe that indubitably. All right. Bring your crew in, but perhaps not share what you've given today.
Boy, get in here.
But just the boy?
Boy and friends.
Boy and friends. Come in soaked. That took a while. Have you sorted something out? Do we notice Armstrong's hand? Are you trying to hide it?
Oh, definitely hiding it
Okay.
in a coat pocket.
Aye, we came to an arrangement. He'll be helping us, sending us to Krakos, giving us our disguises, and pulling us out when the job's done.
In exchange for what?
A hat.
A hat.
Aye.
Aye, there's a sacred ceremonial headpiece worn by the ancient.
The hat that I gave Luna.
Ancestors.
Luna, I need your hat.
Can I do an insight check? I don't like this at all.
Yeah,
Alyssa would also, yeah.
You guys can also roll deception to see if you can beat the 14.
We both rolled a 14. Oh my gosh, twinsies.
Deception checks if you'd like between Armstrong and Leighton.
This is.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, I am good at that. And I rolled a nat 1.
Oh my god.
They definitely seem to be hiding something.
Alis will make a face and look at the this guy.
There's
And
not
say-
much. There's not much time. The moment you're about to speak, he just interrupts. He's like, "There's not much time. We should probably move forward with this. If you wish to get down to the surface of Krakos, we must begin the ritual right away."
All right.
Good. There's something that I need you to get. for me that actually is on this island for me to complete the ritual.
You didn't mention that before we made the deal, shaman.
We would have seen this in the fine print.
You should have had a contract, shaman.
Well, I can't do it on my own. I'm too frail and weak. Look at my little body.
Oh, okay.
All right, what you be requiring?
An egg.
You just made a noise. That's nothing.
An egg.
What are you? It's just I can't understand.
An egg from like
An
a
egg?
pigeon,
Yes.
seagull, chicken.
A gnome, perhaps.
Brought it
fresh
back around,
out,
guys.
fresh out, I'm afraid.
I hate it.
Does he lay eggs?
An egg from the deep one.
Ugh. I can't make you lay an egg, old man.
Wait, is he the deep one?
But
I
me?
think he's the deep one.
I'm
Just a
not.
running theory.
I am
It's a-
not the
a
deep
pretty
one.
good theory. I feel it's pretty spot on.
No, but I'm flattered. You would think of me as all powerful.
All right, where does the deep one keep his bloody eggs?
Oh, just a shrine over there to the east.
Oh, no big deal. Just filled with spikes and monsters and creatures of the dead and
It's fairly.
lightning and other
No,
pirates.
no.
And no big deal.
All right, so sick of getting the runaround from these locals.
So sick of this. So tired of
Armstrong,
just
wait.
not getting an honest answer. What happened to being an honest pirate?
Yeah, bye
No one wants to
bye.
be honest anymore.
Goodbye. Stay dry.
I'm just pissed off and grumbling and
Well, I'm gonna say that is the end of today's session. Session
goodness.
9.
Woo.
Yay!
Yay! Good session, everybody.
Good session. Good session. Did everyone enjoy
session.
themselves?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, that was cool.
stressing me out.
What stressed you out? I don't understand.
The ship capsizing.
Yeah, it's still off there to the side. You're gonna have to figure out a way. Something.
I like that stressed you out more than you signing away the rest of your life.
Seriously.
Pirates have their priorities, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. It was a very pirate thing to do.
Good.
You're like, I'll probably die any day anyway.
Yeah.
Good RP episode. Good roleplay episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still itching to stab something with this new rapier.
You'll be stabbing something very soon at episode 10. Double digits, baby. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry, I don't know why I'm doing that. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's gonna be very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are as well. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say bye to chat, but we'll we went very late today, so we're not gonna do a podcast. And honestly, we'll probably be doing podcasts maybe like once a month if there's time
Yeah.
or a session ends. So, but I know it's late for some of you guys, so thank you guys so much. Appreciate you all very much. And I'll see you guys next week.
Cool. Bye, chat. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys. All right. Well, I'm gonna go now. At some point in time, I wanted to do some mount hunting, but I'm tired, so we're gonna take a break. I might do another stream later this evening if I'm feeling up to it. I want to go ahead and do a big thanks to MJ Durlek for subscribing for tier 1 sub 7 months. And if you guys know, obviously, about Prime Gaming subs, if you have a free Prime sub available and you haven't used it yet, maybe consider using it on this channel. I'd sure as heck greatly appreciate it. I think it would be absolutely wonderful. Big shout out to everyone that's a member of our Patreon right now. We're getting a lot of sponsors and support. The games and the D&D games are run solely on our tier 1 subs, our Prime sub people, as well as our Patreon subscriptions, which have a lot of great things. Big shout out to our top Patreons, which is Link Zoramage, the Hug Hunter, and Julia Shark. Thank you guys so much, as always, for being our gold tiered Patreons. greatly appreciate that super much. I hope you guys had a fun day today. You mean like this? Yo, wonderful Wonders Wilhelm, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Getting us to 3 subs, 2 away from 5 today. 2 months on a 2-month streak. Heck yeah, dude. Thank you again for that. Brett to love to Wondrous. Yeah, I think that's honestly, I think that's gonna be it. That's it for now. Thank you again. Also, big shout out to BT Bollinger for 1,000 bits and VU for another 1,000 bits. Get yourself that Brett Too Old emote. I'm gonna send you over to God, I really don't know who I'm gonna send you. Tier 1 sub for 9 months, Twitching Pickle. Thank you so much for that as well. Really appreciate the subscriptions coming in. Helps me out tremendously. I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna take you to Shane. We haven't raided Shane in a good long while, so let's go ahead and drop some Bread to Love over at Shane's direction. Thank you again for watching and hanging out. You guys are the best. I will see you all the next time. Have yourselves a lovely day now. Bye.